Recording
check.
is on.
Topic
Right.
check-ins.
Yeah, check it. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I must be in the wrong note. Let me see here. So, no, these are the right notes. Where did it? I don't see the tab for check-in. Maybe I'm missing something.
Top. Oh, you know what? I was using the template. All right, got it.
You're in the wrong note. My goodness.
I'm in the wrong note there. Check-ins.
Okay.
I get it now. Yeah.
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
All right. So I am. I get a 2.2.
Okay.
I don't really want to get into it, but it's been basically like the last month has been kind of like a nightmare, at least 3 weeks and 3.5 weeks. So not to like go into endless detail, but I'll just give the quick 2-sentence overview. Basically, we hired this new worker in Mainmo, and in less than 2 weeks, he decided he learned enough about the organization to propose basically reversing years and years of consensus decision making and thousands of hours of decision making and work. It reversed all of our pay stops and deadlines. They reversed all of our bottom up decision making processes and structure, as well as the entire functionality plan. So since that moment onward, it's been chaos. No work gets done, and no deadlines have been met, and everything is just completely fallen apart. Before that, we were extremely close to actually getting good. I mean, we were at like 15%, almost 15% work out, like client work output, which is like unbelievable. Usually it's like less than 5%. So the functionality plan was actually working. We were actually starting to do the work for the first time ever. People were doing VA sessions like in RTVA and everything. I mean, it was unbelievable how close we were. I would say like, once we got to 20, 25%, definitely by 30% would be like full launch and like everything moving forward. I mean, we were really, really getting somewhere. So anyways, after 2 weeks, Nemo basically is like accusing me of slavery or something. I don't know. It's like really silly. But anyways, no work is getting done. Everyone wants thousands and thousands of dollars. We paid $2,000 last month for like maybe 3 hours of client work. So it's pretty much out of control. Everything forked, of course, because it like broke core values and fundamental systems. So we have the 2 forks, and then we'll talk about your fork today. For me, my primary interest is really just like, I mean, we'll get into it more, but
Time to stretch. Please stop, stand up, and stretch and move around for 30 seconds.
All right. So as I was saying, basically, we'll get into it more, but I'm sort of done negotiating, done, with all of the backtracking and trying to like, address tons of issues. Like I really want to move forward. And I feel like the best way of moving forward quickly is just doing the forks and allowing everybody to do their thing. And then we can come together in the future if we want to, and then still part or whatever we want to do. But the bottom line is in the last month, I have completely redesigned an entire new organization, new fork that I'm about to launch. It's like, once I can finish up with the budget and all this madness, I'll be ready to launch the new fork, and I'm really excited about it. And I'll talk to you more about it when we get into the topics. But overall, it's definitely more like, token and volunteer based. I think it's much more successful. So, anyways, I'm really excited about it all. There's so much possibility and good things happening, and I don't really understand why, the workers and the Nemo and Pay and Joyce and all of them are just so against doing any client work. I just don't really understand it all. But anyways, it is what it is. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Jay. I think I got it, most of it. So I am I would say a 4, and I'm just glad to be back after these 3 months. I said I took 3 months leave. I took a little bit more. So, and then, yeah, I mean, what can I say? When I was ready to get back, I had been always, of course, during these 3 months, these 3 months, I tried, I didn't do any work whatsoever on any kind of, I just had, in the end, like the diagnosis for all the troubled times that, of course, you know very well about, I was exhausted. I came to just exhaustion. So these 3 months, I did no work whatsoever, just spend my days. So I didn't really follow too much
Time to
Discord
pause.
because
Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Discord, because as you can imagine, I love this job. I love what we have been doing and what your vision and everything. So I knew that as soon as I started to look, I would have gotten excited as it exactly happened when I was finally ready to go back into it. But I always gave from time to time to see that things were going well, and I mean, it seemed to me I was okay. I was relaxed, as you were saying. I mean, it seemed that everything was moving forward, work was happening. I saw that the recruitment seemed to be successful. There was a lot of responses, and then when finally it was flowing to go back to start working back, I felt recharged. I felt that I was ready to get back in the arena, let's say, the work arena, and I was shocked as well to see the violence of the allegations that this person Nemo and this other Sandra girl especially, but as you said, with the support of also the old workers. And I mean, it is what it is. What can I say? To me, well, I don't wanna be rude or insult anybody, but when when I read some of the allegations, they look to me that like they're psychopaths. I mean, it's psychotic a little bit. Or these people, they have an agenda behind because they feel that it's easy to extort.
Oh, that's exactly what's going
Man,
on. Absolutely.
that's my feeling. Yes.
Oh, absolutely. That is definitely what I feel for sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's my feeling that people think that.
Absolutely zero work, and then this happens. It's very, very suspicious.
Yes. I mean, it looks like there is like an African coup trying to extort money or something. But I mean, it is what it is. I'm sure that with work and with the heart in the right places, we have everything is gonna be all right. What can I say? I mean, I'm looking forward to get into the session to see the options that I have to get back to work with you for the good of FQV and our missions.
Time for breath. Please stop and get ready. Now inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, relax.
Yeah, so super happy, super excited to be back and to be here now. Check.
Yeah. And I think it's very funny that my purposeful, you know, scam that I'm perpetrating on all of the other workers is that, I'm paying them thousands and thousands of dollars, including $2,000 last month for literally doing like 3 hours of work. And then on top of that, I get nothing, right? I've not gotten paid for 4 or 5 months, right?
Yes,
And and then all of that, and I do 90% of the work, if not 99% of the work at this point. And then that's my scam, you know? What a scam, right?
no, totally. I mean, I've noticed that you've been doing also like the budget options all by yourself, and I mean the voting forms all by yourself, everything all by yourself, and these people, they have the courage to. I don't know where they find this courage, but I mean, bad people are. I mean, what can I say? To me, they either psychopath or bad people, or I don't know what's going on. But the thing that left me more surprised, more amazed that the old workers, they seem to be like have grouped around this evil force, or this extortion scheme,
Yeah. I mean, the
to benefit from it. Like they're going behind them, right? To support this two perpetrator that it seems to me, Namno and Sandra. I mean, I understand your point, and I agree with you, as you as business owner, and as the leadership of the organization. It's correct that you prepare yourself for eventual legal troubles that may come, because I mean, there's no point, as you said, there's no point not to believe that their threats about legal actions will be followed through. But
not
I
I don't
mean,
think it's really threats anymore, but because I mean they're saying Nemo's saying he is doing it, and the response to our letter was very negative so far. But we're meeting on Monday, so we'll see what that happens. But as
yeah,
far as like the core root, value that I think is in complete disagreement, because it all comes down to values, right? For
yes,
me, the core value is the accountability, and specifically the public accountability and the recruitment. Like we're
Time to
supposed to be
pause.
doing,
Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
we're supposed to be doing massive like outreach and volunteer outreach and collaborative outreach and organizing outreach and partnership outreach. We're supposed to be interacting with the public and with the community and with the workers and everybody. And there is just this hatred and like complete anti doing any recruitment at all. Like all the old workers hate recruitment. They refuse to do on it. So I always have to do it by myself, which is like nothing new. But it's like I think it's great that this all happened, because I think it's all inevitable, right? It's like,
hmm
we have very little money. The money is running out, and it's like everybody's tight on that. And instead of just dealing with the situation we're in, everyone's just attacking for the little scraps that are left.
yeah,
And so it just shows people's real spirits and what they're really in for, because like that is so I think it's great that this happened when it happened. I think it was inevitable, and the fact that it happened before the launch is probably better than after the launch, because I think we'll be able to create something that's much more stable, much more resilient, and much more you know, functioning, let's say. So, and we'll see if they want to continue. It's up to them, but we'll talk about that in our first topic, right? So,
yes,
um, but yeah, so I definitely love, it always comes down to like, why would you create an organization that, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, because this is just the right thing to do. It's like, oh yeah, my whole, slavery model is empowering all the workers and giving them full oversight and power and control over everything, including the involvement of the budget. That's how I'm enslaving people. It's like, it's so silly, right? And then
yeah,
in the context of the decision making, this is exactly what is supposed to happen. Someone is supposed to be so empowered that they can come in and just like a week or two completely take over the organization. That is literally our model, and that's everything worked perfectly the way it was supposed to, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's surprising to me is just how, like we had 10 people. It was basically 1 against 9. So that was a little surprising to me that basically the entire group went against me. But there are cracks in that people are seeing that no work has happened for a month, that it's complete chaos, that it was all basically a lie to begin with. I mean, the whole selling point was, oh, we're going to get all the work done and so much more without pay stop,
So that.
without pay stops and deadlines, right? And of course, it was all a lie. And now, people are understanding that. So the main 2 people is Lucy and Mamoon so far, who are basically like,
Time to
oh,
take a break. Please
good.
stop, write down whatever you were about to say, and take a break for 6 minutes.
Anyways, I'm excited about our topics. I definitely want to go into the fork model. And then there's also the discussion about the joining the team model, or option, call it the option.
Yeah.
Fork model and options. And then, I think these are like really the 2 primary options, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Understand it. And then there's the Mars session that's interesting to understand if we get to that.
Mars session. There's also technically the board, so we could just type Mars session and structure and the board of directors. So there's definitely things to be dealt with that in the current, situation. But for me, like the only thing that really matters is the April 8th deadline. Right? Everyone gets fired on April 8th. No one's doing any work. So
Yes.
April 8th, this is all over, which is only like 3 weeks away. I hate having to wait 3 weeks, but at the same time, it's only 3 weeks, right? I've been doing this for 20 years. 3 weeks is like not a big deal. All right,
Yeah.
let's take a
I
quick.
mean, yeah, I would make that like a real topic, like talk about that. I mean, what's the plan? Well, yeah, I mean, we
I
can
think these
take
are
a
all,
break.
I feel like all these are the same topic. It's just like the current
Okay.
crisis, right? All of these are about the current crisis, right? Whereas this
Mm-hmm.
is moving forward.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's take a break and then we can finalize for sure. What? What? Yeah. Okay. Break.
What?
5 minutes. Break. 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I am back.
End
It's
of
4
break.
o'clock.
Time to start. Please get focused on the session.
Okay. Yeah. Everything you said, I'm definitely on the same page. It was surprising to see that. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to see exactly. I mean, the empowerment that there is so strong that as you said, a person can come and in 2 weeks can rally up all the people. But fortunately, what I wanted just to notify, I think it's important to say that the HR board worked very well in preventing these
The HR
to
board, the
kind of
HR
limit.
that limited, but it didn't address, right? So the HR board could have prevented, but it didn't. Instead, it allowed it to happen, but contained the spillover, right? It contained
Yes.
the problem, yes, but it didn't. But it could have prevented it if the HR board had stepped up quicker, or just I mean, the HR board could end this immediately right now if they wanted to, but even within the HR board, there isn't consensus, right? There's not agreement with an HR board to do anything. And part of that is because we hired workers into the HR board, which is probably a mistake, right? Like
Right.
the HR
Yeah.
board should not be old workers. The HR board should be professionals who are assigned specifically to do the HR board work and not to put in old workers,
Yes.
which is Eileen and Alberto.
Yes.
Anyway, so, but yeah, I would say topic one is really just your involvement, and then we can think about the fork versus the team and kind of
Okay.
the comparison of the two, and then we can go in whichever one we think is the best to spend time on.
Sure. Okay, I agree. No objections from my part. Gonna get the topic. Topic one. All right.
All right. So in terms of like the options, there's really like
Time to
you have
pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
and then we have the forking, right? So the joining of the team is, I would say, a lot, right? So it starts with obviously agreement on option. There would be uh, just like ongoing contentious sessions. We have to address the worldview and strategic differences, and just like all the past issues and the probation, etc., right? So in none of it's necessarily bad or good or whatever. It's all just is what it is. It's just a lot of
Of course.
time. Right? This is just
Yeah.
like extra time and no guarantee it would work anyways, right?
Yes.
So then when you look at the forking option, this can be immediate, right? We can skip over all of the issues above we can still collaborate and work together in parallel, and we can I don't know if unite's the right word, but we can merge the fork at any time, right? It's kind of like marriage of
Yeah.
forks, right? And then also split the forks again much easier than if needed again, right? If needed again, which would be a divorce, right? So any sort of fork is what you consider like a divorce, and then a coming together merger would be like a marriage, right? So
Okay.
if we build the forks now and we just accept the fact that, okay, we have different strategies, there's some different worldviews, there's a lot of things that are congruent and work together. But if we force ourselves into a single team again and then separate again, it's just so much harder than if we just address and accept the existence of the differences. We build the forks as they exist, and then over time, if they come together, that's perfectly fine, and we merge them together, and then because we're merging two
Time
existing
for
forks
breath. Please
together,
stop and get ready. Now inhale, 1, 2, 3, exhale, 1, 2, 3, pause. Inhale together, 1, 2, 3, exhale, relax.
it'll be 100 times easier to split the forks if they already had existence, right? Also, this gives maximum flexibility, right? And maximum efficiency. It also builds the most resilient vortex. If you have 3 forks and they're all interdependent and they're all able to coexist with their own functional systems, that actually is much more resilient than a single team that can be obliterated with one name node, right? Because then you have 3 separate name nodes all simultaneously attacking 3 teams all at the same time, which is just would be so much harder, right?
Yeah.
Having 3 separate forks is actually much more resilient and much more stable, right?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, my goal is to get back to work, head to work, and obviously, I mean, I have no income at this time. So also, we where would the budget come to to
Okay.
to pay
So
to pay myself?
so I'll answer that question, but if you're interested in, I mean, for me, the main goal is finding, should we focus on the joining the team or should we find on the fork? Because the answer to your question depends on whether we're joining the team or doing the fork, right? They're both, similar, but the simple answer to your question is I will refuse at all costs in any circumstance to pay people to not do work. I am like done with that. So as long
Yes.
as you do work, you can do work, you should get paid, right? So that is not a question as far as like, do we have money? No, we don't have a lot of money. The money is running out. We have lots and lots of past bills. These old workers are going to try to get every single dime they possibly can for the minimum work. There's just no question about that, right? So that's happening. So our total amount of money is like, I don't know, $13,000, whatever. It's like, let's just say $10,000. We have at least $10,000, which is not a lot of money, but can we eke out a month or two? Sure. And it's enough to get a client. It's enough to try one last time to, launch and like get this all going.
Yes. I have a
So
question though. But
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
I mean, what about the assets? Because with the Bitcoin that has been going so up, like for example, just an example, that the SIM
yeah, I mean, we
wallet
should have
has more than doubled. Has more than that. It's about $110,000 today. When I left for the leave, it was only about 50. Do you remember? Now it's like 110. So I don't know about the Verge and the rest. I don't have access to that anymore, but everything should have been doubled.
Yes, we don't do the assets, right? Like no work is getting done on that. So if we actually did work, I mean, we should be rolling in millions of dollars. Bitcoin's at like over $70,000. We should have so much money if the people who I paid hundreds of thousands of dollars over the last 5 years just did the work that I asked them to do. We would be rolling in millions and millions of dollars, right? So it's just like the fact that we don't have money is because I feel I got totally screwed.
Yes.
And it's just out of control. But either way, yes, we should have so much money, but we don't. And, you know, I mean, even just like we have a Bitcoin stuck in Binance. I mean, that's $70,000 right there.
Yes. That's my question. So that's what I want to do. I want to get to work. I want to do work.
Yeah.
I know it's not our money, but part of that could be used to sustain the organization to moving forward. If, as you
potentially, if we did all the work, but once we get that money, then there's the main work is just organizing all the money and figuring out where it is and how it exists and getting all the tokens set up and actually building the Vortex token, you know, branch. So that is a lot of work before we can access the money. A much better way is to move forward with just, you know, direct income with clients and payments, right? That's the best thing to do for the quickest money, the fastest. We still have to do the assets, and we can still make some money with the assets. That's fine, but it's not direct income, it's indirect income.
No, I definitely agree with you. I understand what you're saying, and I mean, there's a lot of work to be done, that's for sure. But I mean, it can go parallel, right? On one side, we do the work to get direct income. On the other side, we get the money organized. We go back and get the money organized, the assets.
The plan is the same. There's no difference in the plan. Everything that we've talked about before, everything that you learned and trained over the 2 years, nothing has changed as far as the plan of action of how to be successful. The only things that are different are really, you know, how do we organize the functionality to get
time to stretch. Please stop, stand up, and stretch and move around for 30 seconds.
Okay, stretch.
So for me, I would like to talk about these two options in terms of either discussing how we would join the team or discussing the fork. But I think maybe the best thing to do is just to talk about the forks, because I think the forking option is by far the best option because of the fact that the team is chaos right now and I'm already forking. So basically, why not just create a third fork and then there'll be 3 forks? It just makes so much sense to me. So if you're okay with that, I would like to go into that some more and discuss that and then do a break.
I definitely wanna I agree with you. I mean, I don't see any chance for me to get back on the old team. I mean, I wouldn't see how the team will get agreement and get me back anyways at the current state, at the current status of things. So definitely it's talking about the work, but to me it's also important that we address the past issues, because I owe money to the organization, that I want to make sure that is still accounted for, that I want to get to pay. There is still some agreements between us with the alpha that needs to be addressed, that I want to get you paid for that, and I also want to honor the agreements that we had when there's going to be the sale of the mining project. So all that to me is very important, that we make sure that we organize.
Okay, but do you have that money now? Because you said you didn't have a lot of
money. No. At the moment, I don't have.
For me, that is all perfectly fine, but it's not necessarily a priority until you have the money, and then we can actually address all of those past things. But in our model, all of that's already been written off and is basically zeroed out. So we don't even have to worry about any of that for now. It's there. It's all in the books. It all exists there. but it's irrelevant in relationship to you as an individual. All of those agreements, all of those things on the books are not related to you as an individual. They're all separate business agreements, which currently we don't need to address. But yes, we can put them on the side burner and they can be part of your fork as, you know, a key component of the trajectory. That make sense?
That perfectly. That's what's important to me. I mean that we don't lose that. That's written out, as you
Time to
said,
pause.
on the
Please
side
stop.
burner.
Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
So that as soon as the time is mature, they become a priority, so that we don't forget about it, and it's there.
Absolutely.
Because to me it's very important that that we respect what we have agreed. So that,
Yes. Yeah. And
yeah.
that's the same idea that we're dealing with all of the other workers. Like, I feel like after we finish all the payrolls and get everyone paid and all their bonuses and all that, everyone's going to be a lot more just like, oh, the only problem is we just didn't do the payroll, right? That's my hope, is that we'll just do the payroll. Everyone will realize, oh, this is all the money that we get. This is a lot of money. Like, okay, yes, it's not like the amount of money I was hoping for, but I didn't do the work. So I wasn't expecting to get all of the money, right? But it's enough, right? That's what I'm hoping. And it's the same thing what you're saying. We have these past balances, these past things. So it makes sense that all the workers are very upset and want more money, right? But what doesn't make sense is that they stop working. That's
Yes.
part. All right. So anyways, I think we're on the same page. Yes, we want to
Yes.
hold the
Perfect.
continuity. We want to address
Hi
all.
Alberto, hi Jay.
Oh, look, Mamoon, you made it. You want to?
Hi, Mamu.
Would you
Hey,
like to
hi.
check in?
Yeah. Uh, um. Uh. Check-ins. Okay, let me. Check-ins. I'm at 3.5. Um. Look forward this session and let's see how we move forward it, Alberto. Check.
So what you missed so far is mainly we went over like all the chaos and updates that have been happening within FQN. And then with
Uh-huh.
Alberto, we went over kind of some of his goals, which is he does want to get back to work. He wants to make
Uh-huh.
sure all the organizational money that's owed and, you know, all the things with, you know, ACU and Alpha and everything get addressed and are, you know, in the trajectory. And the mining project, all that. And then also we discussed the forking options versus the joining the team option. And overall, we don't know exactly what one we want to do, but we know we want to learn more about the forks and get into that. So that's the proposal for the next topic, is kind of going into the 3 forks for
Yes.
12 to 4 minutes and comparing the difference between each of the 3 forks.
It's not started yet, right? Oh yeah.
Topic 2 now. We're
Yeah.
getting agreement now.
Yeah, we just
Yeah. Yeah.
finished topic 1.
Exactly.
Great.
Time for breath. Please stop and get ready. Now inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Relax.
So, do we have agreement on this topic? For topic
Yes.
two?
Agreed. Agreed. Agreed.
Great. Okay. So let's do topic 2. Oh, here we go. I already have a. All right. So I want to start by just saying that myself, Mamoon, and Lucy did have a session and or at least a topic or two about the fork with the my
Yeah.
fork I'm doing. And
Yeah.
so they
Yeah.
did learn a lot about it and have a kind of a general understanding of how it works and what's going to be happening. So, you know, but either way, we'll still go over most of it right now. But right now, what we want to do is mainly understand the difference between the 3 forks and kind of get a comparison going on. So basically, let's start with the FQV. Let's call it the umbrella of the actual administrative work and you know, work teams. Okay. So this isn't the entirety of FQV, but it's specifically the administrative work team. So under that, we have 3 you could call them branches, like, or forks, right? And those 3 branches or forks, because you could say you kind of the original branch, and then you have the 2 forks off of it. You basically have the primary FQV, no FQN, which is the FQN Contributors Co-op, which is the original trajectory, right?
Hmm.
So I would say the main person who is currently sort of running this is currently a Tay. So she has the most sort of say as like kind of like the supervisor, manager, something like that. Supervisor, whatever is manager. And I would say the primary goals here, there's no pay stops. There's it's kind of chaos right now. Like it controls the budget, right? Which I would say over controls the budget, which is kind of a problem. Um, and the value is seems to be more money focused as opposed to work and mission focused, right?
Totally.
So then you got what I call the Unity Contributors Co-op, right? And this is the new branch as of February 24th. And this is my branch, right? And so I am the creator, creator. Um, so it's still processing, but this
Time
will
to
have
pause.
basically
Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
this will be primarily, you could say, quote, volunteer, just like one step above volunteering. It'll be full 100% pay stop uh, until work gets done. So basically, work starts at $0, right? You don't get paid until the work happens, not the other way around, right?
Hmm.
And then from there, it will be very, very, very focused on, open outreach, recruitment, collaboration, and tokens. Right. So all the value and the primary focus will be in the token. All
Okay.
right. So that's
Hmm.
the new branch that I'm setting up, and I could talk about it for hours and hours and hours, but I don't really want to because I just want to do it, right? I just want to make it happen. I don't want to spend a lot of time trying to convince other people. I just want to do it, right?
Yes.
So the other component here would be whatever team you wanted to build, which we don't know the name of it. And this would have been, it kind of branched from, let's say, November, January of 2023, right? When you left,
But
right?
but I don't really want to build any separate team. I mean, I'm fine in joining your fork if there is an opening. There is
But that's the thing is
that's an
that
option.
there's 2 problems with you joining my fork,
Yeah.
right? So we can note this. So we can note here uh, problems, right? So the problems here is agreement on joining can be issued. The FQN Contributors Co-op is very anti recruitment, right? They want to keep all the money for themselves, as far as I can tell, and they want to do as little work as possible. So those are the main problems in relationship to joining them. Plus, there's also all the contention, right, in the past issues that would have to be
Yeah.
addressed hours and hours and hours. So the problems for my fork, there's 2 problems. One is all of the past issues also exist. So this is lots of time, and concern with that I don't know if we necessarily have time for. And then secondly, um, there's basically no pay until work gets done. So if you're interested in making money, this might be months before
I don't have
it's
an urgent need. Yes.
yeah.
I can
So it could
I
take many, many months until we actually get off of 100% pay stop. So in the new model that I'm making,
Time to take a break. Please stop. Write down whatever you were about to say and take a break for 6 minutes.
so in my new model, everything starts at 100% pay stop, and then you have to actually work to get money to get off pay stop, right? Except instead of the other way around, where in the old model with pay stops, you would just postpone the pay stops, and then you would just try to get all the work done before the pay stop, So we're flipping that in the new
But
model that I made.
but would you still be accumulating T2ML?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. So in
Yeah.
the end, okay. I mean,
Yeah. So all the values there, all the values.
it's the value is deferred when there is when the value has been originated. But I mean, to me that's okay. I mean, it's not a problem to me, but I can understand it's a problem in general. Absolutely, I understand it. It's not about me.
But
It's about who comes after. But
yeah, Alberto. But Jay said fork and paid uh, after the work. What did you mean by after the work? I mean after done the work.
when the
How
deliverables are
actually it
met,
works? Can you explain it, Jay?
Yeah. So if like if you for example, in our old model of pay stops, you would get paid to prevent the pay stop, right?
Okay.
So even if we went on pay stop, you would still get paid, but even if you didn't do the work because you weren't on pay stop, right? In the new model that I'm building, everything starts on pay stop. And the puzzle is figuring out how to get paid by completing the work. If you want to get paid, you have to complete the work
Okay.
first, then
Complete the
you
work.
get off pay stop. So by completing the work is how you
Okay.
get off pay stop,
Mm-hmm.
not trying to complete the work to prevent the pay stop. That's the difference, right? Does that make sense?
I mean, my
I
concern
don't
is
know.
that.
You
Sorry, Mamoon, I interrupted you. Please keep going.
yes, sure, sure. Please, kindly go on.
You want me to go? Or you want to finish what you were saying?
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
interrupted
yeah.
you.
I
Ah,
want you to go. Yeah, yeah. What did you
okay.
say? Yeah,
No,
please.
my concern is that there is a lot of work to get done. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
uh, I don't. I mean, I'm a bit scared in starting exactly. I mean, this new branch where I would be the main creator, where I don't even know how to go around. That would take a lot of time away from UJ because I would need a lot of help to get it all set up and everything. So since we don't have a lot of resources, and
Mm-hmm.
I want to avoid as much as possible to spread too much these resources,
Mm-hmm.
and to try to do too many things at once, and then we don't, and then the time passes, and we know we don't have a lot of time to get this straight. So
Yes. Well, I mean,
my
there's no
opinion is better to get agreement to focus on one and
yeah,
move that forward.
but yes, that would be great, except that's just not possible. We already have two because of the chaos that happened in the old trajectory or the original trajectory. So we're forced to fork. So creating two forks or three forks or four forks instead of one, there's no difference. It's the same amount of work. You see what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
it's
And
just it's just the same thing that the work of creating an organization is required because we can't use the original trajectory because it's already been taken away from us.
Yes.
And it's
Okay.
now being controlled by nobody. But Atea is sort of stepping up. It's chaos right now, right?
No, it's
So what
totally.
I'm saying is that we have no choice because of the current circumstances to create a new fork. So creating two new forks, there's no additional work per se to create two new forks than there is to create one new fork. In fact, it's actually easier because there's no the decision making is 100 times faster, right? Because it's like I don't have to worry about your fork because I already have my fork. Do you see? Do you see? So it's like I don't need to be the decision making can basically be consented to immediately because I'll tell you my ideas. I'll be like, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what you're interested in doing, and we can come to agreement on it. And if it looks good, we just go with it, right? And then at any time in the future, we can always combine forks, but it will always be infinitely easier for us to just start working together. Miyu and Mamoon could initiate a new fork immediately right now and just start moving forward. Also, what you will see here, which is what is so beautiful about the entire vortex, is that someone like Mamoon, like I want nothing to do with the FQN contributors club. I want to get out of it, right? I do not want to be involved in it. But Mamoon might want to continue to be involved in it. So someone like Mamoon could actually be involved in all three forks. So some people might be involved in one of the branches. Some people might be involved in two, some people might be involved in all three, and you have certain people who kind of go between all of them and certain people who only go between, just focus on one. Either way, that's perfectly fine. It doesn't matter. So it's like, and as we recruit new people, some people might fall better into one fork versus another, right?
Okay.
So it's all about creativity. Only our own imagination and creativity holds us back and prevents us from moving forward, right?
Okay.
So for me, like for
End
example,
of break. Time to start. Please get focused on the session.
Oh, we missed
let's
that
take
break.
a break. Yeah, Mr. Break. Let's take a break, and then I want to explain to you why I don't want to talk about my fork and why I'm so much more excited about going into a third fork. Okay?
Okay.
Can we do that?
Okay, Joe.
Yes, sure.
5 minutes
Let's
break.
take, let's take 3 minutes. So we missed the break. So maybe let's take. Okay, break.
Yeah. Break.
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Okay, I'm back.
Time for breath. Please
All right.
stop and get ready. Now inhale, 1, 2, 3, exhale, 1, 2, 3, pause. Inhale together, 1, 2, 3, exhale, relax.
Okay. Yeah, I'm here as well.
All right.
I mean, I have a question. The third fork would still be able to be working on everything that's needed, right? Taxes.
That's the thing is that the clients are all separate from the teams. So every
Okay.
team can have exactly the same client work.
Okay. This,
So the only question is who does the work. So in other words, the teams can almost like compete against each other.
Come here. Uh-huh.
Because the client just wants the work done.
let's see.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. So and then also the teams can become clients. Like, it's also possible at some point the teams could merge, but then one team might stay as the old world team and another team could stay as the new world team. So there's so many possible ways that could all evolve and work out. But let me explain how Unity, why I do not want to talk about Unity. So it would take me hours and hours to explain everything that I would want to explain. And then even after hours and hours of explaining it, we'd have to spend all the time to get agreement on it.
Mhm.
And, building and all these stuff. And I basically have already run 1,000,000 miles, like 100 miles with it already in the last month. And I'm very happy and pleased with it. And it's just like, it is what it is. Is it going to work or not? Who cares? It doesn't matter. The point is that I don't want to sit here and have to explain it for hours and hours. And then on top of that, even after I explain it, even after we spend all the time to come to consensus on it, even after we go through weeks and weeks and weeks of implementing it and setting it up, a week or 2 or 5 or month or even 5 months later, everything could fall apart again because of the value issues and the strategic issues and the world issues. And so it's just like you still have all of these potential pitfalls or like traps that would unnecessarily be built into it for no reason, right? So why not just allow the Unity fork to do its thing, support it. The third fork can support both the Unity fork and the FQN original fork.
Time to
right?
pause. Please
Yeah.
stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
So what I like about the third fork is that we can just immediately just do it. The three of us
Okay.
can immediately just start building the third fork, understanding how it can start operating, set up a client model. We can streamline things. We can question pay stops. We can question anything that would get in the way of getting the work done and moving things forward. Like, there's no need for the third fork to operate like the Unity fork or the original FQN fork. There's just not. You don't have to do everything the same. It doesn't need to be rigid and forced. We can have flexibility and try new things. We can
Yes.
even opt normal organization. We could set up a fork that literally just like a normal organization. Although I feel like that is kind of the direction that FQN is now going. Is they're kind of going in normal direction. Also, if FQN fails, the third fork could go and merge it over again. Right? There's no guarantee that FQN is going to be successful, especially if it has two competitors. Because like right now everyone gets paid to not do work because there's no alternative. The moment that the client can pay 2 other groups of people to get work done, if they get the work done, no problem, and FQN still does no work, they get no money, and that's it. They're done, right?
Yes.
So having
I.
multiple options is 1,000,000 times better for the client.
Of course.
Right?
Okay, Jay. Yeah, I agree with you. Let's try to set up this third fork then and start moving forward to get to the work to do work.
All right, let's do it. So
The
do you want
my
me to?
Let's
question again,
do it.
Yeah, question
Jay.
for you.
Oh no, yeah. The question is, the client work is there any client work for every forks you are creating?
Yeah, anyone can create their own fork. Anyone can take on client work.
Okay, and the fork three you are creating. So
Time to stretch.
how is it
Please
going to
stop,
work?
stand up, and stretch and move around for 30 seconds.
Let's say if we work on it, do we need to have a total different branch or total different tracking hours, total different payment? Is it something like that, totally different?
Yes, correct. Completely separate budget. It's not. It's not like the budgets will still all be related because they all come from the same client, right? But they all three branches could have separate clients. They could have separate budgets. They could have separate um, system. All the payrolls are separate. Everything's totally separate. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Okay. And the HR board would still oversee all the budgets
Think
for the
about
other
the
team.
think about the HR board like a an HR umbrella board or like a super board. So there could be sub boards under the HR board where we can have different you know criteria for who and how the HR board works. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yes.
So we can, our HR policies can be slightly different than the HR policies for the other two forks.
Okay. All right. Let's do it.
Cool. So topic. So any other questions, Mamoon?
No, 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 no.
Okay. So I think the topic 3 would be starting up the third fork and getting started with values and structure, right? Structure,
Yeah.
goals, right? Structure and goals, right?
All right.
What do we? What is the core of this new fork?
Okay. Okay.
So do we have agreement on this topic?
Yes. Agreement. No objection from my side.
No objection.
Okay. So the first thing, obviously, is that we fork from the FQN contributors core, right? So
Okay.
everything is basically the same with a what we call a copy. This includes all liabilities, value, tokens, everything. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Time to pause. Please
Question.
stop, close your eyes, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
So the question really is, what is different, right? And we could
Okay.
say nothing, right? We could say nothing and do an exact copy and change nothing and then just get to work, right? So we don't actually have to change anything. But I would say I think there probably is a couple things you'd want to change. The first thing,
Well, well, what I would say is at least bring it back to before when we had the pay stubs, the deadlines. Without the pay stub, the deadlines, I don't see how anything can be successful. I mean, the deadlines was when we started implementing. I mean, when I joined 2 years ago, the pay stub were already in place, and then we improved it with the half pay stubs, and it was working very well. So That's for
Yeah.
sure. What to me what needs to be different to agree to be working in such team is that there is accountability to do work because there is deadlines that if you don't meet, there is the pay stops. Those are that is something we want to keep from the
Yeah.
old as well.
So I think we're all in agreement on that one. So
Yeah,
accountability, pay stop, deadlines, at least in the old model. What's interesting in the Unity model, the pay stop model is changing dramatically. Whereas maybe in this third fork, the pay stop model just stays the same as before, right? Because it was working. It was working. It was great. It was functional. Awesome, right?
yeah,
So
yes.
that all sounds good. So
Yeah, I mean, feel free, Jay, to bring ideas from the Unity fork into the third fork. I mean, the third fork. I mean, I think that the goal of the third fork is to be as streamlined as possible to get to work, right? So we wanna.
yeah,
That's the
and
goal. But I
the
mean,
goal, yeah. So let's write that down. So the goal is to get as streamlined as possible to get to work, right? And what's
yeah,
really cool about this is that this, in many ways, is not the Unity model, right? I would say the Unity model is not about streamline. It's about, building the most, um, you know, detailed, orientated training and educational infrastructure for long-term transformation. Like it's really the Unity model is really not about being efficient, nor is it even about getting to work. It's much, much more about the pay stops and
Time
making it
for breath.
hard.
Please stop and get ready. Now inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Relax.
Like I would say that the new model that I'm building is more of like a game, a puzzle, and a maze all put together, and it's all about how do you solve problems to get off of Paystop and actually get access to the money. So it's almost like a treasure hunt, right? Treasure hunt, right? So
okay,
it's really
great.
not about efficiency. It's almost just layering upon every single possible complication imaginable so that once we do it, it's done. So I love the idea of the goal is about streamlining everything and getting to work as fast as possible, which is very different than the Unity model.
Yeah, but I mean, the way that I see is that the work that would happen would definitely also help the building for the Unity model. That seems to be a more long-term vision.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And the Unity model can also hire the third fork to help with, the work that it's doing as well.
yeah. Like the third fork is now I came with the idea. It could be called kind of SVG SVG contribution, like client work contribution contributors co-op, something like that.
It might be a little bit difficult to take the SVG website because the SVG website was slightly set up as something a little different. But we could alter it just a little bit. For example, we could say, social value vortex or social value um, network or whatever.
Ah,
So
nice
that's
social
just
value
slightly
network.
different. Yeah.
Very nice. SVN.
Yeah. SVM. Exactly.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. SVM.
Social value network. Very powerful. I love it.
So in that maybe our top priority for it is to support SVG and the administrative work to build client outreach and income streams, right?
Yes.
Maybe that's our like as the social value network, our as the team, the SVN contributors co-op, SVN
Very nice.
contributors
Yeah.
co-op team, right? The core team, our primary administrative mission is to support not the entire vortex, but really SVG and getting the client functionality for the income streams. that would be our primary focal point, as opposed to
Time to
supporting the.
pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
As opposed to supporting the entirety of the vortex. This group is more focused.
Yeah, absolutely. To start,
So
that's what's needed at the moment, right?
that,
To get client work happening, and also help the administrative work. I agree. I mean, all that needs to be taken care of as well.
well, it's all administrative work.
Jay,
Yeah.
Yes.
actually, we don't have any client for the four keyword you were talking about. So we need to grab the client, or how actually is it working?
So the third fork has all the same, exactly the same client work as
Uh-huh.
the original trajectory.
SQL. Okay.
Exception, yeah. So it's all the same work. So we have, and that's what we call the first client, which is Jurison, right? So we still have the Jurison work. We don't have a lot of money in Jurison left, but we still have that. And then in
Duration,
relation to,
that means you, yeah.
yeah, then but our goal, what we're saying is the primary goal of the SVN Contributors Co-op and this team that we're building as a new fork is to get SVG up, running, and functional to start bringing in clients and bring in money and income streams for basically the entire network. Like we have 3 new branches instead of just 2. We could take on even more work, and each branch can take on different clients in different ways, right? So we could
Mm-hmm.
take on even more potential clients. Plus, there's actually a 4th branch, which is I don't even want to get into, but let's just say that there's another branch that's external to us with Mel and all the things that she's been working on that they could take a bunch of clients as well, right? So there's definitely plenty of if we can bring in potential clients, we have plenty of opportunity to do more work and bring in more income. So if we focus on that, I think that would be an amazing goal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well, so I want to change gears a little bit, right?
Okay.
So is there anything else on this particular discussion before I kind of change gears on some other values?
Oh, I think
So
we are on the same page.
Yeah.
the next value that I would bring in related to the accountability and the budget would be our barriers and buffers and limitations to involvement, right? So for example, Alberto basically would be automatically, involved.
Time to
And
take a break. Please stop. Write down whatever you were about to say and take a break for 6 minutes.
all right, let me just finish this and then we'll take
Yes.
a break. So Alberto would automatically be involved and would still have to have his POP approved and verified and all that, right? Approved and verified, of course. But Alberto would not be involved in the other branches and forks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the example for Unity is that Unity will not allow any worker from FQN in who is actively in the FQN budget. In other words, you must um, uh, like existing workers are required to get out of FQN in order to get into Unity if allowed at all, right? So I'm
Okay.
not
Mm-hmm.
saying that that's happen for sure, but we could have buffers and barriers. So a new person could easily get involved in all 3 forks and even get paid separately from all 3 forks if all the forks agree to it, because they all function separately, right? But in the
Mm-hmm.
fact that we are forking because of all the controversy and problems and issues surrounding all of the contention, it would make sense to have some rules in relationship to existing workers. Like what I'm saying is that yes, we want to be open, but we do not want to invite in the same problems that we are trying to get away from. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
So
Awesome.
I don't know. I know exactly what I'm doing for Unity. I know exactly the buffers and barriers that are already set in place, including existing workers have to go to a $0 budget or quit FQN in order to join the Unity co-op. So the question is, what kind of barriers would we want? How would we want to have agreement on that? For example, we could say yes, Moon could be involved in both. Maybe I can be involved in both or whatever. I don't know, but it just depends on what you want to do. And when I say existing workers are required to get out of FQN, what I mean is existing workers are required to have a $0 budget within FQN. So as long as you're not making money within the FQN branch, you can still be involved in the FQN branch, but you can't be making money in both branches at the same time, right? At least for new workers. I mean, for old workers. Maybe for new workers, they could create separate contracts, but in the current crisis, there has to be a barrier. There has to be a division to, you know, actually create the fork, right? Because the forks have to mean something, right? So in that context, like who and how and what and by what levels of professional work. Like, as far as I'm concerned, if Alberto wanted to, Alberto could set up, high level professional criteria for workers that would potentially even exclude Mamoon, because there's a certain level of professional work expectation that Mamoon you simply don't do, right? So that would be a discussion to have together of what Barry we'd want. Also, I want to get paid by Unity, so at this time I probably wouldn't ask for money directly from um, this budget, but I could get paid not as J, but I could get paid as the Unity branch. So the Unity branch could support this branch getting started, and we could get value for that. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, this is really just about the rules for who and how individual workers get into the budget. All right. So that let's take a break, and when we come back, we can think about that. Um,
Hmm.
Obviously, we have agreement, but for me, that agreement starts with Alberto, because everything centers around Alberto, because this fork is being created because of Alberto. So
Okay.
the first
Yeah.
agreement with Alberto needs to agree, for example, to let me in. And then once me and Alberto are in, then we have consensus between two people to move forward. Then from there, it would be okay if me and Mamoon agree to let Mamoon in, then we have another one in, but it needs to be understood how and why. What is the criteria for getting empowerment? What is the criteria for being empowered within the third fork? Okay, and just so you guys,
Yeah.
within the Unity fork, neither of you are empowered. And at this time, I don't want either of you empowered in the third fork, because I have a plan for how the third fork is going to be launched. And then once it's launched, everybody will be, not everybody, the people who do have the opportunity to get involved will be invited to the table. And then from there, that will evolve. And I don't know exactly how that will evolve, but the point is that both of you do not have an invitation directly into the table for Unity. But the first step to that is not being involved in FQN budget. That's the first step of getting involved in Unity budget. And I'm still in the FQN.
Recording is on. Time to start. Please get focused on the session.
We can talk about the criteria for what it means to be in the third fork, or the SVN fork.
Social value network. Yeah.
Yeah, SVN fork. And then the
Okay.
SVN fork will have their criteria.
Five.
And then once we set that criteria, then we can start making decisions and move everything forward very quickly. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Jay.
Yeah.
Okay.
5 minutes break.
Quick break.
Quick break.
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
All right. I
All
am
right, I'm here. Okay.
so
Yeah,
maybe
I'm here.
maybe just a bit of brainstorming ideas.
Mamoon, there is a lot of background noise from your side. Can you?
Okay, okay. Oh yeah.
Okay, thank you. I mean, of course, there is a total agreement from my side to 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 have consensus between you and I to move forward. Yes, Jay.
For me and you, Alberto.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Right.
So let's try to create criteria around it. So, for example, um, do we allow multiple budgets, right? Or is SVN, hiring Unity branch for support and decision making.
Time for breath. Please stop and get ready. Now inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Relax.
Another thing is that Jay could be involved as a advisor or you know senior consultant or whatever, and not as a worker. Maybe there is no budget yet. Maybe even Alberto's not in the budget either, right?
I mean, I think that the budget process should still happen, of course. I mean, we have agreement to build a budget, but the budget needs to be that happened as usual and needs to be voted and agreed and see if there is the budget. It's
Ooh,
okay.
another example for Unity is that
But
if
I mean, but
Unity.
yeah, I need to say that work would not be able to move forward if you're not a worker. I don't
But
see
no,
how.
but I can be a worker within Unity, and we can still work and collaborate on anything we want to. You see?
Yeah, I mean, I see. So I just want to make sure that
Yeah.
where,
So
however it is structured, it's okay. But
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
work
So
is happening because we're working
within
together.
Unity, within Unity, right? The way that I structured Unity, and I'll send you the sponsorship proposal and everything, but Unity is structured with a founder group, right? Or founder team. So the founders have basically not necessarily a veto vote, but they have the ability to, it's not veto vote, but they have the ability to control the primary trajectory, which means that if the majority goes against the founders, then the founders still keep the primary trajectory, and the dissenters, in this case the majority, still has to create the new fork. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean that's
So
definitely
we
applicable. I mean,
so we
the
could
point
set
of
it up basically
Yeah,
as
makes sense.
founders group. So the proposal would be Alberto and Jay are the founders group and have the power to um, control through consensus the primary trajectory if there is a block and a fork, right? So
yeah.
that would be the proposal with that, and then that would mean that at least between the two of us, if we have
Time
consensus,
to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
if we have consensus, even if other people got involved that basically tried to take over the organization, we could block them and say, look, you guys can go into FQN. Like
Yes.
that organization already forked off of us. Why would we create a brand new organization just to be forced to fork again? Right? It doesn't make any sense. Right?
No, exactly. I mean, the goals, the primary goals, because behind the reason why this third the SVN is being created right now is the work. So if people come and want to get paid without doing their work, that should be like something that would not be allowed to happen again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great criteria point. So a criteria point is that basically to join SVN, the recruit must meet minimum criteria and values for professional work output focus, right? Or something like that. That basically they agree, they obviously are here to work, right? The work must be the primary. Work is a primary value and focus, right? Of SVN.
Yeah. And
Right. So
then
for example, you know, let's say Namo wants to get involved, right? And so our experience with Namo is that he's been involved for a month and he hasn't done any work. So it's like we could potentially use this criteria to say, okay, look, if you're not willing to work, like this is not the right team for you.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, everybody that gets involved would have like, I don't know, like a time where they need to show that they're there to work. Like they need to give verifiable outputs of work. Otherwise, they're out. I mean, I don't wanna create something that is difficult to enter, right? To get recruited. I mean, the recruitment should be open and empowering as it is with FQN, but it should be easy to get rid of people that are just not serious, right? So
Exactly.
there
Like I
shouldn't
feel
be
like,
a yeah.
okay, the easiest way
Time to
always.
stretch. Please stop, stand up, and stretch and move around for 30 seconds.
Stretch.
So I'm excited. So
Yeah.
I just thought of this, like the easiest way, the core value of work focus, right, is that you go like new recruits and new workers go on a trial basis, right? So the trial basis could be, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, right? And
Yeah.
instead of the idea where you must get consensus to fire a worker, right? During the trial, right? The policy would be that new recruits are automatically fired without agreement from the team to keep them after X trial, et cetera, right? So there could be different checkpoints. They're like, are
Yeah,
you serious 1 week in? Are you serious 2 weeks in? In the moment that you're not serious, it's just you're automatically fired. Nobody has to do anything except for not approve you, and then you're automatically fired. And in that way, they are responsible to prove themselves. And if they're not working, they're gone. You know.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it should be quite easy to get started, but then to stay on the team, you need to prove yourself. But also, we want to make sure that we don't create mechanisms for people to get fired. Because I mean, maybe somebody is a great worker, but he's not very uh, pleasant, or I don't know, or people just have a discussion and then we want to avoid that. I mean, we don't want to be judging people because of their character too much. Of course, to me, it's very important that we should take in very high power all the
So we could say one, two, or X number of workers. This would be a minority. Could um, let's just say protect or
Yes,
force
Navit.
a vote on a new recruit to prevent automatic firing. So if someone liked a worker and thought they were doing good work and other people didn't like them and were just trying to get rid of them,
yeah,
then there could be a process to easily basically protect them. They're not automatically going to be included in the budget, but that at least they would
Time
get
to pause.
firing.
Please stop. Close
Right?
your eyes.
yeah.
Count
So the
1, 2,
very
3,
thing to
4,
ensure fair
5.
and
Open
valuable
your eyes.
and prevent automatic firing if there was any interest, if there was clear work output, right?
Yeah,
If any,
exactly,
if
exactly. I mean, it should
there
be all
is,
based on work output.
yeah.
Like work output is king, but also like we should give very little space to like learning from my mistakes and learning from what's going on right now with all these insults that and threats. So the disciplinary measures should be very easily to implement it and very strong. You know, like if somebody is accusing another person of such serious allegations like slavery, I mean, there should be either give verifiable information, or if it's just gossip or you being an asshole, sorry the term, and then this. I mean, we want to keep the
Yeah, I mean,
since the
if
work output is the king. We
yes,
know that in order to produce work output, there needs to be an enjoyable environment, a professional environment that people treat each other with respect. So as soon
correct.
as
If,
the respect is not there, the work is going to be affected very badly. We have learned from the past very well, so with my mistakes and everything. So I think that should
yeah,
be kept in very high regards in order
yeah.
to
So
make sure that doesn't happen again.
there's two things to that, right?
Yeah.
The first thing is that people are people, right? And you get a situation
Yes.
where once everything falls apart, like you have all the policies, like FQN has tons and tons of policies and they're beautiful policies. But when everything falls apart and no one cares about anything anymore and no one wants to follow any policies, which is where we are now, it's basically Wild West and anyone can say whatever they want and break as many policies as they want and nobody can do anything about it. I can't do anything about NANMO breaking policies because the majority is allowing it to happen, right? So there, and we're so beyond contentious sessions at this point, we can't even get agreement on the budget and everyone's about to get fired, right? It's like we're so beyond addressing professional communications code. So the
But
question is,
that
how do you prevent that from happening and how do you create automatic
um,
safeguards to address when everyone gets off the rails? Because you can have the best policies in the world, but if people don't follow them, then it doesn't matter. So one option that I'm looking at doing
Time
is
for breath. Please stop and get ready. Now inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Relax.
okay, there's two parts to this. One, obviously it's 100% pay stops, right? Or let's just say pay stops in general, pay stops. And the other one is that like the actions of one affect all. So the idea of this is kind of like a value. The idea that any one person on the team affects everybody is very important, because if Nanmo says that it accuses someone of slavery, right?
Yes,
And you're like,
yes,
oh, that doesn't affect me. That's just between them. And who cares? I'm just going to keep my mouth shut, right?
yes.
In a normal organization, you're allowed to do that. But under the idea that the actions of one affect all, right? The actions of Nanmo accusing slavery with no viable, he won't even give a single piece of documentation, right? Nothing.
Exactly.
Even we asked like a dozen times or more. And
It's
basically that should affect everybody on the team. Everyone should be outraged because everybody should be affected. So how would you do that? There's very simple ways to do that. One way that Unity is looking at is basically the idea that pay stops are the beginning, not the end. So the moment that anyone breaks the professional code, like everyone goes on, let's say 33% pay stop, right? So it's like the
yes,
moment that he starts accusing people, it's like everyone's pay goes around. Everyone's like, oh my God, you are breaking the professional code. That affects all of us. So we are all undeniably against anybody breaking the code,
yeah,
because all of our pay goes down. And so
yeah,
now everybody's outraged. We need to address this immediately. We're all
yes,
losing pay because of it, right? So that's an
yes,
example. The
yes.
other way around, and this is the thing that I
That's,
just love about Unity and the direction
that
I'm
is
going with,
great.
is like it's like if you join a main session, right?
Yeah,
You join a main, or no, any session. You join a real time session, right? And then our policy in Unity is that you start the session with 100% pay stop, right? And under our policy in Unity, right, it is 100% pay stop until 2 recordings are started, which means that with 1 recording, you are at 50% pay stop, and with the second recording, you are at the 0% pay stop.
Time to pause. Please
So
stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
So in our model with Unity, with if the whole pay stop thing is reversed, right? And so imagine if you come to work in Unity and you go to a session, right? The question is, are we going to record? In FQN, we never record. It's very rare, and you have to wait, and it's just like trying to get it and trying to do 2 recordings, maybe during main sessions, but even then, sometimes it doesn't work out. If you don't even get paid till you start the recording, will there ever be a time you're not recording? And the answer is absolutely not. Right? If
yeah,
people don't
yeah,
get paid until they hit the record button,
yeah,
there will never be a time that you're not recording. It's that simple, right?
yeah, yeah,
So
correct.
by reversing the model of the pay stop, it's where everything starts on pay stop until you do the work, not the other way around, then the work gets done. Otherwise, you just don't get paid. Right. So in the same way, you could say the moment that the team is no longer professional and focused on work, it is automatic pay stop. So the moment the team stops professional focused work, pay ends, then you can be sure that at least if you're getting unprofessional and starting to break all these codes and affects everybody, people are either going to immediately address it, but even if they don't address it and it gets out of control, at least no one's getting paid to cause chaos. Yeah, check.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
One more question, that we have totally different channels on Discord for this work.
No, I'm already setting it up. So I'm setting up the SVN Discord right now, and so there's a separate Unity Discord. There's going to be a separate SVN Discord. Every branch, every team has totally separate communication channels, totally separate decision making, totally separate budgeting. Everything is separate. There is basically they function in parallel. Okay.
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 So should I just go ahead and create this right now, Alberto?
Yes, absolutely, sure.
And I'm going to use like the SVG logo. That sound good?
Okay. Yeah, sounds great. Uh, there was something I want to say, I forgot now. Yes. I mean, what we should make sure that all of this, I can be working on that to get a draft going. It's like the methodology. Oh my God.
Well, no, it's just the sponsorship proposal. That's all it is. So let me
Yeah,
Time
take
to
the
take a break.
sponsorship proposal.
Please
And
stop,
whenever
write
you're
down
hired,
whatever you were about to say, and take a break for 6 minutes.
whoever is hired is not going to get paid until they don't agree with the sponsorship proposal, where all of this would be very clearly, because what's going on right now is that even though it
there's
doesn't make
contract. Yes, we have
even that
major issues right now. Yes,
yeah
and
even, what I've seen is that even though it doesn't make sense, you responded very well, but whatever you respond is like they have their agenda, they already have their answers, and there's no way. But what's something that we want to avoid is that people would say, it was not written in the contract. So we want to make sure that once you get hired, the first thing is that you agree to the sponsorship proposal of the organization. You also are empowered to make changes, right? Say, okay, maybe I don't agree with this. We can always review. It's not something that is closed. We want to make sure that they know that they're empowered. The moment they're hired, they're empowered. But
or
they're
even
not getting,
before.
or
Yeah.
even before, yes. But they're not getting paid until there's an agreement on like a work contract on the sponsorship proposal, on a proposal that states very well that the value is with the work, the professional work, that the pay stops, and all of this.
So
That
this is very, very important. A couple things come to mind, right? The
yeah,
one direction that I'm going with is that basically to require a digital signature, you can do it pretty well on a Google voting form. So on a Google voting form, you can require Gmail authentication, right? And you can do a digital signature. So there's a couple of things that you can do just on a simple Google form, but we could
okay,
also get more contract based. I mean, we could do like, a DocuSign or whatever if we wanted to. But the other issue that I'm dealing with, which is much more significant,
yeah,
is the idea that a worker is not um, required to actually adhere to their vote and their agreements. That is insanity for me, right?
yeah,
So for me, I would never ever want to work with Sandra ever again in my life. She has said multiple times now that anything that comes after the original contract, it doesn't matter if she votes a 9, it is null and void because anything that she herself agrees to is irrelevant in relationship to the job post, right? Because what she's
yeah.
talking about is not even a contract. It's literally the job post on
I
Workana
know.
that she saw and clicked on. And if it's not in that job post, it's null and void, even if she agrees to it by consensus. That means that it doesn't matter what she says. It doesn't even matter how she votes. I have nothing. There's anything that comes out of her mouth is useless. I never want to hear another word from her because if I can't believe her vote, and she doesn't even accept anything she even agrees to, that's worse than not even being true to your word. She's saying she's not even true to her vote, right?
And that's
How to address that. I don't even know what level of value that is. That is
I
mind.
I have no idea. That's
I mean,
insanity, as you're saying, or it's like
it's
purpose,
psychotic. It's never
like
even heard that.
psychotic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what I
So
agreed to doesn't even matter. Like, oh, I agreed to it. It doesn't even matter. It's null and void because I agreed to it. Wow. Like, what? That is
yes.
mind blowing. So I don't even know how to address that. I don't even know what the
There-
value is to how do you, because it's the chicken before the egg thing, right?
Very
Chicken
unfortunate. Very
exactly.
before
unfortunate.
the egg, right? It's like, but
I
yeah, I
don't
mean,
want.
you could make a policy that that anyone who questions the methodology and the work, not the work, the methodology and the policies and any agreement they themselves have agreed to, um, based on any rationale, is automatically removed immediately. That basically there's no fundamental thing that is worse for an organization than someone who questions even the concept of agreement. There is nothing worse than that. I mean,
I mean,
I
that's.
always thought the worst possible thing was to force somebody's worldview on someone else. But this is even worse than that because it's basically questioning the concept of even having a worldview to begin with, right? Because if you can't even make agreements with anyone else in anything at all, there is no worldview. There is no consensus on what even exists or what even happened, right? I mean, I don't know if I could think of a worse evil than trying to completely obliterate all sense of anything existing. And in anything, there's no truth. Like with this, there's no truth. There's nothing that's ever verifiable. Nothing can ever be verified, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's I mean,
It's a big
there,
one. Anyway,
yeah, it's very big.
yeah.
I don't know how to
End
It's
explain
of
it.
four
So
break.
o'clock.
Time to start. Please get focused on the session.
But all I can say is someone like Sandra, it will never be allowed in Unity under our criteria. So in the SVN fork, and I don't think that Sandra point of view, maybe she can retract it or whatever, but it's like it doesn't matter what voting form we give to her. It doesn't matter what contract she signs or whatever. I mean, if she says that it doesn't matter and oh, any contract I sign after the original contract is null and void automatically because I already signed a contract before. I mean, that's basically what she's saying, right? Any contract I signed after the first contract is no longer applicable. Is just null and void
which
automatically.
which the law is exactly the opposite. Every contract you sign afterwards is superseding the older one. So every agreement you make afterwards, that's in contrast with an older one. Automatically, the law says that the most recent is the one superseding. So, but I mean, there's, I mean, people are people, so we will always have to be facing this kind. At one point or another, there's always going to be problem with people that they're just already have the answers, right? So how can you have a discussion, a sound discussion with somebody that already doesn't listen to you, right? So if nobody, they already have the answer, they already have an agenda, or they're just insane. That's something that unfortunately may happen
It's different.
again. What can we do?
So we can require to have the methodology, the concept of the methodology within the job posting, that basically all of our terms of involvement, all policies are required to be adhered to, right? Plus all future changes and any additional agreements that are made, to put that directly, make sure that verbiage is very clear within the job post. It only needs to
Yes,
be one little sentence, but it
yes,
needs to very clearly say in the job post that,
yes,
yeah. And I think another thing is that anyone who questions the methodology is automatically basically uh deactivated. So automatic deactivation until full signatory contract is signed. So I would just say, like in the new policies, that someone like Sandra would automatically be deactivated and she's not allowed to be involved anymore until she re-ups her contract based on our current policies, because the way she's talking is insane, and that would just be immediate
Time
revocation
to
of.
pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Yeah.
Coolio. Anyways, I think this is a good start. I think the best thing to do is really just get the sponsorship proposal started. Do you want me to start a sponsorship proposal document, or
I can do
you,
that if you want.
you want to do it? You have the
Yeah,
template. You
yeah,
have
I
the
do.
template. Okay,
Yeah, I
cool.
can get
So
it started.
so what I would say is you have the template for the sponsorship proposal. I would actually encourage you to like start writing the sponsorship proposal. And then after you get started with it, then I'll send you the Unity one and you can start comparing, playing around with it and learning about what I did for the Unity one.
Okay,
Either way,
thank you.
good to note, it's good to note that unlike the Unity sponsorship proposal, the SVN proposal will be required to have board of directors approval, right? So in our new policies with the sponsorship, if you are forking when the vote to get rid of the core values of accountability and like all the things with NAMO that happened, where we got rid of all the pay stops, when that happened,
Mhm.
it automatically forked out the Unity branch. And so once that happened, it's automatic. And because it came out of the internal existence of the previous trajectory, there's no new organization, right? But
Mhm.
in this case, the SVN is created from a minority fork that came out of something separate that is being brought in. So it's considered a new organization. So therefore, it would need to have approval. Does that make sense? Is that correct?
Okay. Yes, yes, I agree.
Yeah, because there's no specific decision that was made that actually created SVN. It's being created in this session now. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Okay, so to resume, you're gonna send me the Unity sponsorship proposal for me to get an idea how to draft the sponsorship for the
I was
SVN
actually
board?
hoping that I was kind of hoping that maybe you would start drafting the SVN
SVN.
sponsor
Okay,
proposal first, like get like a first rough draft of it for a couple hours, and
okay,
then I'll send you the Unity one. Then you can start comparing them and
okay.
changing, because I think it does help to start your own ideas first
Yes,
before, yeah, just like copying what's in that one. So that
sure,
'cause we
sure.
want there to be we want to have diversity, right?
Yes.
Time for breath.
And then you just
Please
give this
stop
stuff.
and get ready. Now inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Relax.
Most of the stuff in here that we talked about right now is all would all go under additional details, right? They're not these
Okay.
policies are not really core to the actual like
Yeah.
description and stuff like that. It's more like details.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
Anyway,
I
so
get
I
it.
love this. This is we got some really good ideas here. And this is,
Yeah.
I feel like, the first time we've actually been discussing real solutions to the chaos that is going on in FQN. And it shows you the power of having separate forks with slightly different perspective. Because imagine there could be chaos going on in Unity, there could be chaos in FQN, and we could come over here into SVN and be like, let's have a discussion about what's going on over there in a different perspective, you know? So I think this is
Absolutely.
very cool to have this.
Very cool. Very cool. Yes.
And let me invite you all to the Discord. So I
Yes.
got the Discord set up, and I'll continue to get it set up. Um, but I think we're done. Yeah.
Yes. So let's do a wrap up, quick wrap up.
Yes. Wrap up.
So where would we track the time? I would track in my pop for the moment.
Sure, you can track in your pop. I've already created a Unity. I just duplicated the tracking, the single individual tracking spreadsheet, and I track all my hours in Unity now. So we would just take the existing spreadsheet and we would just duplicate it for SVN and start tracking SVN hours in the SVN single spreadsheet model. Yeah. So, but we don't need to do that immediately. It needs to be the
No,
first step.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we have the sponsorship proposal approved and everything, I mean, that would be
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, okay, okay. So no,
So that
Why
just
do
to make
we
sure
need
this value
need the
doesn't.
Alberto and Jay? Why do
yeah.
we need the sponsorship proposal at the start point of this fork?
Because we want a budget, and the budget requires legality, and the quickest and easiest and fastest way to get legality is sponsorship.
Sponsorship.
um, I would actually argue that the best thing to do is just to immediately get Mel to agree to the sponsorship so that we can get sponsorship um, with Innovate United LLC. We can already
Mhm.
basically get sponsorship with the trust just with me. So we can have we unfortunately don't have trust accounts, but we can use
Time
crypto
to
accounts.
pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
So we can approve the sponsorship proposal immediately for the crypto trust accounts, and then we can also approve it for Innovate United very quickly. But within the nonprofit and specifically with David and Kelly, I think it might take a little bit longer to get approval just because of all the chaos going on right now with all the legal threats and everything. They might see this proposal and be like, well, I don't know, but we don't actually have to wait for the nonprofit because we don't need a nonprofit account. We can move forward immediately without the nonprofit because the only reason you need a profit is like, grants and things like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet.
Okay.
All right. So this all
So
looks very, very, very good. So we could probably get this started up next week easily.
yes.
And with a little check-in with Mel, and then
Do we want
so
to schedule?
this is a list of priority next steps. So we have the Discord. So I'm taking care of the Discord.
Okay.
We've got the sponsorship proposal, and Alberto, you're gonna start the sponsorship
Yes.
proposal.
Yes.
And then what else do we need to do?
Give me one responsibility so
A
I can act.
how, a schedule. How would we want to schedule already for next week, or we're gonna communicate on Discord? We're gonna how we're gonna do that?
Definitely schedule
We
for
have to schedule.
from
I mean,
even if it
let's go
is
back to our goal. Right? The primary goal is, let's see, it says the goal is to get streamlined. Wait, the goal is to get as streamlined as possible to get to work. So, I mean, let's improve this goal a little bit. But as far as this being the goal,
Yeah.
why wait a week? Why wait 5 days? Like, no one is
Yeah.
doing any, nothing is happening. If we want to get streamlined and get to work, like, let's meet
Yeah.
tomorrow. Let's meet on Monday. Let's meet on Tuesday. Let's meet
Yeah.
on Wednesday. Like, there's
Exactly.
nothing else is happening. Like, the entire vortex is a standstill. There's nothing
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. So
as far as like FQN is concerned, there's only one thing happening for the next
there.
2 weeks, and that's payroll. Nothing else.
Correct.
That's the only thing happening. So we could even help with the payroll if we wanted to. All right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm concerned about all the taxes that's not happening. It's already March
Oh
17th. So
God, don't tell me about the taxes. So I mean, obviously the
uh,
taxes aren't happening, but yeah. So we could get focused on the
let's
taxes.
schedule on taxes. I
Yeah,
think
not a
just to
bad idea.
Time to stretch. Please stop, stand up, and stretch and move around for 30 seconds.
So
I
what could
think
the moon do to get organized and ready for meeting the criteria for joining a professional work organization?
Hmm.
it's a good question. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like there's two main things for me, Mamoon, that you could do.
Mm-hmm.
One is to write down all of your skills, right? What are all the responsibilities that you know how to do, and to what level do you know how to do them? For example, someone will always say, "Oh, I know how to work on payroll." It's like, okay, I know how to do the first three steps of responsibility five of the payroll setup or whatever, right? So it's like if we can get a little more specific on exactly what you know how to do, that'll be very helpful and professional. The second thing you could do is figure out whatever it's going to take, you know, to show up on time. Like if you need five alarm clocks, I'll buy an alarm clock for you. I don't know what it is, but it's like just showing up on time would help a lot. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then from there, the only other thing that I can think of is to communicate every single day, to ask a new question every single day. If you could do that, you would be 100 times above all the other workers. That single, simple thing. That every day you would ask a new question, and every single day you would communicate. You wouldn't just disappear and just wait for someone else to do something. All right. So those are my recommendations to you, Moon. So when we set up the new Discord for SVN, if you communicate on the new Discord, you are way above and beyond anyone else. if you know what I mean.
So, so about the schedule, we want to get going. Do you want to coordinate that on Discord?
Yeah,
So we're
actually,
gonna be okay.
I think Mamoon could actually do pretty good on scheduling. That's something that you're actually pretty good on, right, Mamoon? If you could get a schedule set up for the week,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I think let's let Mamoon do the scheduling. So Mamoon can just coordinate the scheduling, and he'll put together a schedule, propose it, and then we'll vote on it and see
Mm,
if we like it. That's so good.
Okay.
yeah,
Yes, that would be
sure.
amazing. Okay.
And for me, my main thing is I have
Time
to
to
prioritize.
pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Well, I mean, technically, we all have to prioritize the FQN budget. Right?
Yes.
We all have to prioritize the FQN budget because every single dollar that goes to FQN is basically flushing it down the toilet, as far as I'm concerned at this time. And that's just us losing our budget for Unity and SVN, right? So,
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
we
saying
also
we shouldn't pay them, but we need to make sure that they're doing work for the money. Otherwise, it doesn't help any of us. Yeah.
yeah. Also, I mean, for the schedule, I mean, you could also like we could also have more more sessions going on under the FQN and the SVN at the same time, where you
Oh
can
yeah, of
jump
course.
from one BT to the other, where you give the guidance, and then, like for example, the taxes. If we meet Monday during Hydra, I understand that you're meeting for payroll every day Hydra now.
Yeah,
So,
you
but you
guys could
can,
you guys could meet with and this is actually something that actually will be really helpful for Mamoon. Mamoon, just by meeting with Alberto and keeping the buddy team going, I could go back and forth
Mm-hmm.
between other buddy teams. That actually might be really helpful. Also, Alberto is very good at working on your own, so you could just be by yourself on a buddy on a Jitsi, and then I could switch back and forth too. So either way, it should be fine.
yeah, yeah. So you
So
come,
here is
we
the
coordinate the work, and then
link.
I need the kickoff, and then
So
I can.
Alberto is going to available for next week, right? Full time.
Yeah, starting Monday, I'm available
Mm-hmm.
30 hours
Awesome.
per week minimum. Okay,
Thank you. Thank you.
that's my
Yeah, and
commitment.
and
30 hours
yeah,
minimum.
yeah. Jay, did you notice that I increased my budget at the hours for full hours for this month 45. I'm not sure. I don't know how to actually that FQN is falling apart. So, do I need to update my scheduling? I mean, sorry, yeah, tracking sheet, or we can just use new sheet for this fork.
Yeah. So as of now, Mamoon, um, your budget is only in the FQN, and your budget until we get agreement on the 45-degree budget, we are still stuck in the previous budget, or we have no budget, right? So if everyone gets fired on April 8th, we'll just duplicate the 165 budget for 2 months. Okay, and that will be the budget for the 45-degree, right? So, but as far as your involvement in the budget for, and this also goes for Alberto, until we have an
Time for
agreement.
breath. Please stop and get ready. Now inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Relax.
So until we have agreement on the budget within SVN, there is no pay for SVN. Okay? And we still need to
Mm-hmm.
decide and figure out exactly how we want to, you know, like for example, in Unity, you're not going to be allowed to get paid in Unity and in FQN at the same time, right? So we have to decide how exactly we want to set that up with us. So let me just make a quick list here of these are the steps to
Mm-hmm.
start getting paid within SVN. Okay, this will take just like
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 minutes. Step 0 is the setup, which is what we did right now. So now, this is our first
Mm-hmm.
session, we continue, right? Oh, it's the continue. So then step 1 is the
Mm-hmm.
sponsorship proposal. Step 2 is, let's say sponsorship proposal team agreement, and then you have sponsorship proposal board agreement.
Mm-hmm.
Then you may need to, you know, have some type of client agreement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which we don't need to do anything particularly fancy, and we can basically fork existing scope, and then from there we need to make a budget. So agreement on a budget, and as far as I'm concerned, I have no problem if this budget only starts with Alberto, because if I'm in the Unity budget and I'm currently still stuck in the FQN budget, so that's that. And if you're stuck in the FQN budget as well, Mamoon, in the short term, you might not even be able to get in the SBN budget. We'll just have to see. So we just have to figure out that one step at a time, because currently me and you are getting paid in the FQN budget. Then step 5 and the last step is we need to invoice the client. I guess technically speaking, there are 2 steps. There's invoice the client / get paid by client, and then step 6 is to run payroll. Okay, so those are the 6 steps to get paid that need to happen within SVN as well as Unity before people actually get paid. Okay, an agreement on the budget probably includes HR board review and approval, just like before. Cool. So this is doable. I mean, this could all get done in like a week. I mean, this could easily happen in 1 week, right?
So do you think it may help to create
Time
like
to
a work
pause.
organizing
Please
spreadsheet?
stop. Close your
Oh
eyes.
yeah,
Count
that's
1, 2,
part
3,
of the setup.
4, 5. Open your eyes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
I'll
that's the
do.
very first thing I did for Unity branch.
I'll do
Was I
that.
created a work organizing spreadsheet for the Unity branch, and I'm on it all the time, every day, whenever
Yeah.
I'm working on
Exactly.
it.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay.
So that's just like the starting point. And then
Yeah.
at some point we'll have to duplicate the I don't know who wants to do that. I could do it if you want. But we have to duplicate the payroll single automated spreadsheet and create that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We
All right,
see that.
Julio. But what's cool about having parallel branches is like me and Mamoon can be involved in the SVN branch, and we can be tracking hours here and getting tokens or whatever, even though we're not getting paid. So we can still track hours in SVN, but we could also track those hours in the other branches instead, right? It just doesn't matter where we track our hours. It depends on what we're going to get for those hours, and it's different. And in my understanding is that the core values that are being split apart in these forks are not really related to the token. So the tokens are basically the same still, even though some of the values and some of the different policies are changing. It doesn't actually affect the token itself. But eventually, it probably will affect the token. Like Unity already has multiple new tokens, but it doesn't get rid of the old tokens. So it kind of has a couple new ones it's adding, but it's keeping all of the existing tokens of the original trajectory. So we'll see how that all evolves. But either way, if people's focus are getting paid, these are the goals to getting paid. My focus, is nothing to do with the money. My focus is all for Unity. It's all about functionality and more of like working to get to the money. Like the work gets done first, then the money comes
Yeah.
afterwards in the
Mm-hmm.
model. So it makes sense that maybe SVN would be different than Unity because maybe SVN should be easier to get to the money, get focused, get the client outreach, get the income happening. And then we can have Unity for more of the long term. How do we create this? It'll be like this massive maze and puzzle that if we can solve it, we break and get into the treasure. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes,
So
I
anyway,
understand.
Jay,
that model. Yeah.
Very
Remember?
exciting.
Jay. As my understanding, we don't have any client yet for SVN. So,
No, we have the one.
um,
We have Jurison is automatically
Jurassian.
client for
Okay.
all three branches. Yeah. So the original client is automatic for all three branches because the
Time to
client.
take a break. Please stop, write down whatever you were about to say, and take a break for 6 minutes.
So currently
Uh-huh.
FQN is not getting the work done, and so that's a huge
Okay.
problem. Yeah.
All right, so you're gonna send us the Discord invitation so that we can start.
I already
Yeah.
linked it, but I'll send it here as well.
All right, where did you link it?
So,
In the.
well, I
Ah,
linked
got
it in
it.
the
I
main.
got it. I got it. Yeah.
I'll also put on FQN Discord as well. So Alberto and Moon, link to SVN uh, contributors co-op Discord. Okay, I sent it. Oh no, I did not send it. Jeez. Okay, let me try that
I'm.
again.
I'm. I'm in. I'm in. I got it.
Oh, you already got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Can you delete below? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's going to be really cool when we have all three branches happening because the three branches will all be transparent and open and everybody will be able to see everything going on in all the branches. They just
Mhm.
won't be able to interact with the core teams. Right? So if you're only on one team, you won't be able to interact and actually communicate within the core channels. So that will be blocked within other teams, but everything will still be public and transparent, open, and everyone will have access to be able to view all of the discords. So it'll be very, very interesting. I just love it. I think that this is going to be great, and it's going to make all of the other workers in the FQN primary trajectory basically realize that there's just the only way they can get paid anymore is if they do work. They used to get paid to do nothing, right? And now what they've done to themselves is they actually can no longer get paid to do nothing based on what they did. So that's
Yes,
going
very
to be a
exciting.
hard
We'll see.
that's going to be a very hard lesson for them to learn in the next coming months. Oh boy, we shall
Yeah.
see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything you need also with pair, I can help you. No problem.
Oh my God, we're gonna be working on that for weeks. But yeah, we'll talk about on next week. We can go into kind of the overall plan and the goals of what needs to happen. But obviously it's in SVN's best interest to have a functional FQN as best as possible. So Unity's most important priority right now is dealing with the budget, the FQN budget, and dealing with making sure it's all functional and that we're addressing all of these core legal issues and in the budget and you know just simmering everything down, and getting back to work. So once that happens within FQN, that will dramatically improve everything for the Unity fork as well as the SVN fork. So
All right.
that might take a month though. It might be April 8th. So come
We
April
see.
9th,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not managing to join. Are you sending the new recruit PT? Okay. Good.
Yeah, you weren't able to join. It didn't work.
I don't know. With that invitation, they were asking me a verification via email that is not working. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But
An
it should
email's
be
weird.
working. Yeah, now it worked. Yeah, no, perfect. I'm on. Thank you. Great. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, so we check out.
Yes, yes. All right, let's
Yeah,
check it.
check out. Check out.
So, okay, so the schedule will go good. Okay, thank you. All right, I'm taking notes, Jay, if you wanna do check.
Okay, I would give this session a 6.8.
Okay.
I think this is the best session I've had in over a month.
Mhm.
So quite a relief. I feel like we got a ton of things done. I think in so many ways, the SVN vision and goals are much further than even the Unity branch, because the Unity branch that I'm setting up is just so much more entangled. It's like this entangled web of pay stops, and it'll be like a huge challenge to actually solve the puzzles, right? To actually get into getting it functional. Either way, it doesn't matter because that's all, anyway, you'll see eventually. It might be another couple months before that gets launched, but it's very exciting, and it's a completely different thing. I've barely even touched the tip of the iceberg on how that's all going to evolve. But in the concept of this SVN, it's simple, it's straightforward, it's clear, it's the best of FQN, but making it more professional and focused on FPG and the client work. I think is genius. I love it. I think it's great. Um, we could, I mean, this supercharges the launch like 100 times over. Like, think about how much this could possibly supercharge the launch. In a week, we could have SVN set up with a budget and ready to go. And then within another week,
End
It's
of
four
break.
o'clock.
Time to start. Please get focused on the session.
we could actually have our client outreach campaign set up, ready to be launched on social media. And then within another week from that, we could actually be starting to schedule with potential new clients and even sign a new client within a month, right?
Yes.
That's amazing, right? All because we have no baggage. SVN has no baggage. There's nothing, we can do whatever we want with this team, right? So it's just it allows for so much flexibility, and this is the magic of the vortex. This is the magic of forking and just not having to be stuck in a single organization. We can create unlimited numbers of organizations, and every organization can just do whatever it wants immediately. It doesn't have to ask permission. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited about all of that. And to finish, I'll just say that I will be getting the Discord channel sort of set up, and it'll basically look exactly the same as the Unity Discord that I set up, for the Unity co-op Discord, where basically it'll have everything up to recruitment, because right now we're all in the recruitment phase, and then once we get
Yeah.
through the recruitment phase, then we'll set up the channels for the the core team.
Okay.
Check.
Okay, I'll go next.
Where are these checkouts
Alberto.
happening? I don't see the tab. The checkouts in the wrap up.
Ah, it's a wrap up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. This is the phone wrap up. Yeah, yeah. May I
All
go
right.
next, Alberto?
Yeah, Mamun, please. Mhm.
Yeah, I already have it up. Yeah, I would give the session 6. It was very good session to initiate the new fork, and just start to waiting to schedule from Monday, and excited about this new fork. So let's see how things goes. Check.
Great. Thank you. Uh, I'm going to give the session a 7.5. Of
Mhm.
course, I'm extremely relieved that we got to this agreement for this work to move forward in order for me to get back on the team and doing something meaningful with my life. And yeah, I mean, I'm super
Time to
excited,
pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
super excited, uh, energized about this session, which is a great session, amazing session. To as the first one after my leave, I'm grateful. Thank you so much, Jay, for your guidance in setting all this up, this option for me and for us together to get back to work. And yeah, looking forward to next week. And I'm going to be working on the setup of the fork with the draft of the sponsorship agreement, the spreadsheet with the priorities, the work organizing spreadsheet, and communicating on Discord, of course, between us, so that we can uh, we can realistically uh, yeah, have a goal to have everything set up in 1 2 weeks, so that we can start outreach interaction with public, so that we can get income going sooner rather than later, learning from the mistakes, the many mistakes of the past, keep all the good. That's the plan. Keep the good, develop the good, learn from the bad, so that we don't repeat that, but instead gives us the chance to become better version of ourselves first, so that we can apply that to the network and make sure that our missions move forward, the trajectories move forward, and that we will be successful uh, in the medium to long term. There's no doubt in my mind that we will. All right. Thank you so much.
Good. So,
Awesome.
Jay, I'm going to schedule with both of you, right? In
Yeah,
Yeah, let's just plan on
mhm,
doing like, a check-in on Monday, Tuesday, and then again on like,
mhm.
Friday or Wednesday or whatever. Like at least like 2, 3 sessions during the week,
During the week,
specifically for
exactly.
SVN.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And then
absolutely.
eventually what we're gonna do is we'll schedule like a main session,
Yeah,
right? So SVN will have a main session.
Mhm.
We can duplicate the main session. That might be hard at first because you know if me and Mamoon are in the SVN, I mean in the FQN main session, Alberto is basically by himself. So until there's like some people who were working with Alberto separately from the other group,
Time for breath. Please
yeah,
stop and get ready.
better to have
Now
the session
inhale.
be.
1, 2, 3.
yeah,
Exhale. 1, 2, 3.
But eventually, when we have enough people, like we just need like what? Let's say 9 people, 3 people for each main session. We can have all 3 main sessions for all 3 forks happening at the same time. Perfectly fine. Yeah. Yeah.
And one more question:
awesome.
are we going to invite the new? I mean, the worker from FQN right now, or hiring new recruit from platforms?
I mean, right now it's just the 3 of us, and me and
Mm-hmm.
Alberto have basically the veto power as the founders, right?
Yes.
So in
Mm-hmm.
that context, it's like, and this obviously will get finalized in the sponsorship proposal, because right now it's still all proposals. It hasn't been agreed upon yet. But the general concept is that we are open to whoever is interested. Like we're very happy that you're interested in getting involved. Mamoon, I was actually telling Alberto before you joined that you and Lucy were both vocally concerned about what's happening, in
Hmm.
FQN, and
Yeah.
really the only 2 of the 10 people who besides myself, right? So obviously
Yeah.
Lucy's on leave right now. We'll see what happens when Lucy comes back.
Yeah.
But who knows? Like whatever, anything is possible. But I told Lucy, I mean, for Unity, I told Lucy that, if you want to get paid, it's probably better to stay in FQN because people are probably not going to get paid in Unity for a while, right? But
Mhm.
with SVN now as an option, we can see how that could evolve. But again, we
Like
want to try
some.
to see what
re-
before and make sure we're focused
But
on the work.
At the same time, I work for FQN and SVN as well, or I just need to go with one segment.
I mean, for
I
the
mean,
moment,
that
at the end doesn't exist. We just created it, so there's no budget, Mamuni. There's no budget.
Hmm.
You're
yeah.
not
Exactly.
gonna get
Hmm.
paid. So realistically, before we get paid for SVN, it's
Hmm.
gonna take 1 month, I believe, right? Before we get everything set
Yeah,
up,
I
a
don't have
budget.
have
I
any
mean,
problem, Alberto. As my understanding, I am frankly tell you, Jay, and I told you, Jay, because I have no problem volunteering for my organization. Organization actually doesn't matter to me here. The matter is here is Jay. To me, Jay is the organization, and
I agree.
I'd go with him whatever you go. Check.
Nice.
I
Well,
agree. I
that's
agree.
one of our fundamental values of life support. We're all here supporting each other's lives, which is the first and foremost thing that we're doing. And life support is not about money. It is about, you know, consciousness, right? Like
Yes.
our consciousness cannot be controlled by money. The moment you sell yourself to the highest bidder, you lose your conscious power to experience your journey, right?
Yes.
So,
Yeah. Well said.
anyways, thank you, Mamoon, for reminding us of that. It was really good.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mamon.
Check.
I mean, to me, Mamon, to me, I don't know, Jay, but I mean, if you want to track the hours for FQN, I don't know about that, but the hours that you would work under SVN until there is not a
Yeah,
budget,
I'll track it down. No
and we have
problem. No problem.
agreement later is
Yeah,
not
the
even
budget, the budget will be the budget will be the budget. So the biggest
Yeah.
problems with the budget right now is like I haven't seen Alberto's pop. I know you're increasing your pay rate on your pop. We can always consider preemptive budget changes, right? Especially at the beginning. But
yeah,
the bottom line is that all of the money is stuck in FQN right now, right? FQN Contributors Co-op is the primary trajectory and they control all the money and they took it from me. I don't control it right now, right? So right now it's all stuck there that we have a $8,000 budget and it's like,
yeah. But you have like
bigger and
fiduciary
bigger.
as treasury, you have fiduciary responsibilities, right?
Sure, but we also have to follow the policies, right? So
Okay.
it's like, you know, I don't know how much money it's going to cost to equalize our balance. Hopefully this week we'll get a pretty good estimate on the overall bonus payrolls because we've never run bonus payroll, right? For months and months and months. So we're going to run we're going to be doing like 6+ months of bonus payroll and it could be thousands and thousands of dollars. I mean, I have no idea how much money it will be, but the thing that protect us as an organization, as a network, because this affects all of the three branches, is that we still have UMCUS, right? So the UMCUS loan, all of the bonuses, by definition, none of the client work ever met enough money to cover the base payrolls ever, right?
Yeah.
So all of the bonus payrolls will be loans. So there has to be an agreement to get all those loans. And there also has to be agreement on the new budget before April 8th. Otherwise, everybody is fired, right? So until April 8th or until there's an agreement on a new budget, it'll be very difficult to create a budget within Unity or SVN because we just don't know how much money we have. And then
Exactly.
until we deal with all of the and deal with all of this, crisis situation relationship to the UMCUS loan, we won't really know how much money you have. And then specifically with the UMCUS loan, I don't know how they can justify taking a loan, because without me and Alberto, Moon, and the rest of us, like I don't want to work in FQN anymore. How do they ever pay back the loan? Right? What could they possibly do to pay back the loan, let alone even make enough money to get paid for themselves at the budgets that they want? They don't do any work. Right? So there is a major question related to the UMCUS loan and the budget and all the payrolls and everything. And it might come down to basically not like a settlement, but just the final agreement. This is the money you get, take it or leave it. And then they just disappear because they can't do enough work to even pay themselves. Right? So I
I
don't know
see.
what's going to happen, but we'll give them an opportunity to continue the trajectory of FQN co-op for many months. But they have no pay stops. They don't have to go work. They don't get paid. They get paid regardless. In my mind, I see like 600, 800, maybe $1,000. Really more than that is getting crazy for their HR budget, and then they just pay themselves to do whatever they want to, but they also have to do the client work to bring in that $800 to pay themselves. Otherwise, they go bankrupt, right? So it's just like, and then we figure out the budget for the rest of the organization, the network. So it's like that's my hope, but it's just I mean they want to have a budget that's like $8,000. It's insane. It's not
Yeah.
stable at all. Like they're not doing any work. It's like if you want an $8,000 budget, then prove all the work that you've done in the last month that justifies an $8,000 budget. But it's exactly the opposite of that. So I don't know what'll happen, but what I do know is that the team is still in alignment. The majority of the team is still in alignment with the values of consensus and working and solving our problems together. And that is awesome. And so that
Yeah.
means I'm very hopeful that the solution will happen and that the majority will speak louder than any individual, like either Sandra or Naima or whoever, and that everybody, even though they won't be happy with the amount of money that they get, they'll accept that it's fair for the amount of work that was done, and
Yeah.
that they will have all their tokens. They'll be like, okay, these tokens could become valuable if we
Yeah.
support the future. And so I think that we will be able to find a happy medium, and no matter what, we should end up with at least $10,000 left between Unity and SVN, and whatever moves on forward with FQV. So I think we'll be okay, but within a month, we have about a month or so to get a new client before we really are going to be feeling it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, FQV is always the brand. The brand is the same, right?
Yes, FQV is the umbrella
The
brand for
brand.
the whole Vortex. So we
Right.
all exist under the Vortex.
Yeah.
Um, it's all the same Vortex. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. Talk to you on
Thank
Monday
you so
then.
much, Jay Alberto.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much,
Thank
Alberto.
you.
Thank you.
Amazing being back. Thank you. God bless you. Ciao.
Hey, Alberto, do you
Take
think
care.
you could link the live stream
Excuse
to the
me?
notes? Do you think you could link the live stream to the notes?
Yeah, I can link that.
Oh,
Sure. I'll do that.
okay.